Rich Dad, Poor Dad is one of the most popular books about money and how to build wealth, but what makes it really interesting is how it tells the story of the authors to dads and the different ways they taught him about money. This book isn't just about numbers, it's about how the way we think about money can shape our entire life. Robert Kiyosaki grew up with two father figures, his real dad, whom he calls his poor dad, and his best friend's dad, his rich dad. His real dad was very smart and had a good job working for the government. He always said that getting good grades and a safe job was the best way to have a good life. This dad believed that school was the key to success, and he worked hard every day to provide for his family. But despite all his hard work, money was always a struggle. On the other hand, Robert's rich dad didn't go to fancy schools and didn't have a college degree, but he was very good at making money work for him. Rich Dad owned several businesses, invested in real estate, and seemed to have a completely different way of thinking about money. Instead of worrying about job security, he focused on building things that made money even when he wasn't working. As Robert grew up, he learned that these two dads had very different ideas. Poor Dad would say things like, "I can't afford it," while Rich Dad would say, "How can I afford it?" Rich Dad believed that asking questions and being curious was how you grow. Key lessons from Rich Dad. One of the most important lessons Rich Dad taught Robert was the difference between assets and liabilities. Assets are things that put money in your pocket, like a business or a rental property. Liabilities are things that take money out, like a car loan or credit card debt. Most people think that a big house is an asset, but Rich Dad explained that if it costs you more money every month, like mortgage payments, taxes, and repairs, it's really a liability unless you're making money from it. Rich Dad said that if you want to be truly wealthy, you have to focus on building assets. When you own assets, they can make money for you, even when you're asleep. Why financial education is important. Another big lesson in the book is that financial education is just as important, maybe even more important than school education. Poor Dad believed that school would give you all the skills you needed for life. But Rich Dad said that schools don't usually teach you how money really works. He said that's why so many smart people still struggle financially. They never learn how to manage money wisely. Rich Dad encouraged Robert to always keep learning. He told him to read books, talk to people who were good with money, and not be afraid to ask questions. Most importantly, he said that if you make mistakes, that's okay. Every mistake is a chance to learn and get better. The power of working to learn, not just to earn. When Robert was young, Rich Dad gave him a job working in one of his small shops. At first, Robert didn't like it because he wasn't paid much. But Rich Dad explained that the real value wasn't the money he earned, it was what he learned by watching how a business worked. This was a big eye-opener for Robert. He realized that working for experience and knowledge could be even more valuable than just working for a paycheck. Rich Dad taught him that if you only think about earning money today, you'll miss the chance to build something bigger in the future. Getting out of the rat race. One of the most powerful ideas in the book is what Rich Dad calls the rat race. This is the cycle of working hard, getting paid, spending that money, and then having to work even harder to pay for everything you bought. Most people spend their whole lives in the rat race, never getting ahead. Rich Dad said the way out of the rat race is to build assets. For example, if you buy a small house and rent it out, the money people pay you each month can become extra income. If you keep adding more assets, you'll eventually have enough money coming in that you don't have to work at a regular job anymore. That's when you're free. Don't let fear hold you back. The book also talks about how fear and doubt can stop people from getting ahead. Poor Dad was always worried about what might go wrong, losing a job, not being able to pay the bills, or making a bad decision. This fear kept him from trying new things or taking small risks. Rich Dad had a different view. He said that everyone feels fear, but you can't let it control you. Instead, you have to face it and learn from it. He told Robert that if you're brave and willing to learn, you can turn challenges into opportunities. Sharing and giving back. Even though the book talks a lot about making money, it also says that true success is about giving back. Rich Dad believed that once you have enough, it's important to help others. Whether that means sharing what you know or using your money to help your community, it's a way to make life better for everyone. The bigger picture. Thinking like an investor. Rich Dad, Poor Dad isn't just about making money, it's about changing how you see the world. Instead of only thinking like an employee, Rich Dad taught Robert to think like an investor. Investors look for ways to grow their money, not just earn it. They're always asking, how can I make this better? How can I turn this into an opportunity? This way of thinking helps you see possibilities everywhere. Maybe you see a small shop that's not doing well, and you think of a way to help it grow. Or maybe you have a hobby you love, and you figure out how to turn it into a business. The point is, you start to see the world as full of chances to learn, grow, and help others. Why this book matters for everyone. Whether you're a kid, a teen, or an adult, the ideas in this book are important. It's not about getting rich overnight. It's about being smart and paying attention to the choices you make every day. Even small decisions like how you spend your allowance or what you save up for can add up over time. If you're a kid, maybe you start by saving a little bit of your allowance and using it to buy something you can sell for more, like snacks at a game or art supplies to make crafts. If you're older, maybe you start by reading more books about money or talking to people who know how to make money work for them. The big idea is that money isn't just something to spend. It's something you can use to create freedom for yourself and to help others. And if you start learning about it now, you'll have a big head start. In conclusion, Rich Dad Poor Dad isn't just a book about getting rich, it's about the power of learning, curiosity, and thinking differently. It shows that anyone can become smarter about money, no matter where they start. By understanding the difference between assets and liabilities, overcoming fear, and always looking for ways to grow, you can take control of your future and help others do the same. So whether you're 10 years old or 60, remember, money can be a tool to help you live the life you want. And it all starts with how you think.